Okay, Akriti. Start reading from the concept of ecosystem.
Okay, ma'am. Concept of an ecosystem. An ecosystem is a region with a specific and recognizable landscape from such as forest, grassland, desert, wetland, or coastal area. The nature of the ecosystem is based on its geographical features such as hills, mountains, plains, rivers, lakes, and coastal areas or islands. It is also controlled by climatic conditions such as the amount as sunlight, the temperature, and the rainfall in the region. The geographical, climatic, and soil characteristics from its non-living abiotic components. These features create conditions that support a community of plants and animals that evolution has produced to live in. These specific conditions. The living parts of the ecosystem is referred to as its biotech components.
Biotic
Ecosystem,
components.
yes, ecosystems are divided into terrestrial and or land-based ecosystem and
And aquatic ecosystems and water.
ecosystem in waters. These from the two measure habitat conditions for the earth living organism.
Organism.
All the living organisms in an area live in communities of plants and animals. They interact with their non-living environment and with each other at different points in time for a large numbers of reasons. Life can exist only in a small proportion of the earth, land, water, and its atmosphere. At a global level, the thin skin or the earth on the land, the sea, and the air form the not from the why. At a sub-global level, this is divided into biographical re- realms. Exam- examples Eurasia called
No. Eurasia called the Palearctic realm. South and Southeast Asia is the Oriental realm. North America is the Ne- Nearctic realm. South America forms Neotropical realm. Sorry, Neotropical realm. Africa and Ethiopian realm, and Australia the Australian realm. Shreya, you continue from here. Shreya, Acha, okay. Akriti, then you continue.
At a national or state level, this forms biographic region. There are sorry, several
Distinctive,
geographical regions in India: the Himalayas, the Gangetic Plains, the highlands of central India, the western and eastern Ghats, the semi-arid deserts in the west, the Deccan Plateau, the coastal belts, and the Andaman and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These graphically distinctive areas have plants and animals that have been adapted to live in each of these regions. At an even more local level, each area has several
several structurally and
spectral
functionally
and functionally identifiable ecosystems such as different types of forest, grassland, rivers, catchments, mangrove swamps in
in deltas,
deltas, seahorse islands, etc. To give only
seashores,
sorry,
hmm. seashores,
only
islands, etc.
to give only a few examples here to each of these forms are habitat for specific plants and animals. Ecosystems have been formed on land and in the sea by evolution that has created species
Species
to live together in a
to live together,
to live together in specific regions. Thus, ecosystems have both non-living and living components that are typical to an area given it its own special characteristics that are easily absorbed. Definition: the living community of plants and animals in any area together with the non-living components of the environment such as soil, area and water constitute the ecosystem. Some ecosystems are fairly robust and are less affected by a certain level of human disturbance. Other, Others are highly fragile and are quickly destroyed by human activities. Mountains ecosystems are extremely fragile, fragile as
fragile
fragile as degradation
as degradation of forest covers,
covers leads of
severe erosion of soil, and
seawater.
changes in river courses.
Islands ecosystems are easily affected by any form of human activity, which can lead to the rapid
Mhm.
extensions of sev- several
Several of the unique
several of their
species of
unique
plant.
species of plants and animals. Evergreen forests, and coral reefs are also examples of species rich, rich
Species rich, fragile ecosystem.
which must be protected against a variety of human activities that lead to their degrad- degradation.
Degradation.
Rivers and wetland ecosystems can be seriously affected by pollution and changes in surrounding land,
Land
land.
use. Okay. So, understanding ecosystems. Natural ecosystems include the forest, grassland, desert, and aquatic ecosystem, such as ponds, rivers, lake, and the sea. Modified ecosystem include architectural land and urban or industrial land use pattern. Each ecosystem has a set of common features that can be observed in the field. What does the ecosystem look like? One should be able to describe specific features of different ecosystems in one's own surroundings. Field observations must be made in both urban and natural surroundings. The second is, what is its structure? Is it a forest, a grassland, a water body, an agricultural area, or a grazing area, an urban area, or uh, an industrial area? What you should see are its different characteristics. A forest has a layer from the ground to the canopy. A pond has different types of vegetation from the periphery to its center. The vegetation on the mountain changes from its base to its summit. What is the composition of its plants and animal species? List the well-known plants and animals you can see. Document their abundance and nature and the number in nature. Very common, common, uncommon, and rare. Wild mammals which will not be seen in large number. Cattle would be common. Some birds are common, which are the most common species. Insect species are very common and most abundant. In fact, there are so many that they cannot be easily counted. The next is, how does the ecosystem work? The ecosystem functions through several biogeochemical cycles and energy transfer mechanisms. Observe the document, the component of ecosystem, which consists of its non-living or abiotic features such as air, water, climate, and soil. Its biotic components, the various plants and animals. Both of these aspects of ecosystem interact with each other through several functions aspects to form nature's ecosystem. Plant, herbivore and carnivore can be seen to form food chains. All these chains are joined together to form web of life on which a man depends. Each of these use energy can then sorry energy that comes from the sun and powers the ecosystem. Okay, start reading from this ecosystem degradation. Akriti. So ecosystem degradation. Ecosystem are the basis of life itself. The natural ecosystem in the wilderness provides a variety of products and are regions in which number of vital ecological processes are present, without which human civilization would not be able to exist. Ecosystems are, however, frequently disrupted by human actions, which lead to the extinction of species of plants and animals that can live only in different natural ecosystems. Some species, if eliminated seriously, affect the ecosystem. These are called keystone species. Extinction occurs due to changes in land use. Forests are deforested for timber, wetlands are drained to create more agricultural land, and semi-arid grassland that are used to pastures are changed into irrigated fields. Pollution from industry and waste from urban settings can also lead to extinction of several species. The reason for the depletion of natural resources is twofold: our uh, exploding population that needs to sustain itself on resources, and the growth of affluent society which consumes and wastes a very large proportion of resources and energy. Increasing extraction of resources is at the cost of natural ecosystems, leading to a mm, leading to the derangement of their important functions. Each of us is our daily lives use a variety of resources. If tracked back to their sources, one can find the resources were originally obtained from the nature and natural ecosystem. Our insensitivity to using resources carefully has produced societies that nature can no longer sustain. If one thinks before wasting resources such as water, reusing the recycling paper, using less plastic and are that are non-degradable. Cumulatively, this can have positive implications on the integrity of our natural resource base, and conserve the resources that nature provides. Ecosystem and man. Every region of our Earth has different ecosystem based on climatic conditions and geographical features. There are terrestrial ecosystems and land and aquatic ecosystems in water. Resource utilization. Most traditional societies use their environment sustainably, though inequality in resources utilization has existed in every society. The number of individuals that used a large proportion of resources was extremely limited. In recent times, the proportion of rich people in affluent societies grew rapidly. Inequality thus became a serious problem, whereas in the past, many resources such as timber and fuel wood from the forest were extracted sustainably. This pattern has drastically changed during the last century. The economically better off sections began to use greater amount of forest products, while those people who lived in the forest become increasingly poor. Sorry. Similarly, the building of large irrigation projects led to wealth in those areas that had canals, while those who had to remain dependent on constant supply of water from river itself found difficult to survive. The key to this issue is the need of equi- equitable distribution of all type of natural resources. A more even sharing of resources within community can reduce these pressure on natural ecosystems. The structure and function of ecosystem. Structural aspects. Components that make up structural aspects of ecosystem include inorganic aspects, which is carbon, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and water. Organic compound, protein, carbohydrate, lipids link abiotic to biotic aspects. Then climatic regimes, temperature, moisture, light, and topography. Producers, which are plants, macro consumers, phagotrophs, which are large animals, and micro consumers are saprotrophs, which absorbers, which are fungi. Then the functional aspects are energy cycle, food chain, diversity, which is interlinkage between organisms, nutrient cycle, which is biogeochemical cycle, and evolution. Since each ecosystem has a non-living and a living part that are linked to each other, one needs to be uh, one needs to look around us and observe this closely. This is an important aspect that is a vital part of our lives. The non-living components of the ecosystem are the amount of water, the various inorganic substances and organic compounds, and climatic conditions such as rainfall and temperature, which depends upon geographical conditions and locations, which is also related to the amount of sunlight. The living organisms in an ecosystem are inseparable to their habitats. The living components of plant life ranges from extremely small bacteria which lives in air, water and soil, algae which live in fresh and salt water, to the terrestrial plant which range from grasses and herbs that grow after the monsoon every year, to the giant long-lived trees of the forest. The plants convert energy from sunlight into organic matter for their growth. They thus function as producers of ecosystem. The living components of the animal world ranges from microscopic animals to small insects and the large animals such as fish, amphibia, reptiles, birds and mammals. Man is just one of the 1.8 million species of plants and animals that inhabit on Earth. The producers, consumers, and decomposers. Every living organism is in some way dependent on other organisms. Plants are food for herbivore animals, which are in turn food for carnivorous animals. Thus, there is a different trophic level in the ecosystem. Such organisms, such as fungi, live only on dead material and inorganic matter. Plants are the producers in the ecosystem as they manufacture their food by using energy from the sun. In the forest, these form communities of plant life. In the sea, these include tiny algal forms of large seaweeds. The herbivore animals are primary consumers as they live on producers. In a forest, these are the insects, amphibia, reptiles, birds, and mammals. The herbivorous animals include, for example, hare, deer, elephants that lives on plant life. They graze on the grass or feed on the foliage from the trees. In grassland, there are herbivores such as blackbuck that feed on grass. In the semi-arid region, there are species such as chinkara or Indian gazelle. In the sea, there are small fish that lives on algae and other plants. At a higher tropic level, there are carnivorous animals or secondary consumers which live on herbivorous animals. In our forests, the carnivorous animals are tiger, leopard, jackal, fox, and small wild cats. In the sea, carnivorous fish live on other fish and marine animals. Animals that live in the sea range in the size from microscopic form to giant mammals such as whale. Decomposers or detrivores are a group of organisms consist of small animals like worms, insects, bacteria and fungi, which break down dead organic material into smaller particles and finally into simpler substances that are used by plants and as nutrition. Decomposition thus is a vital function in nature, as without this all nutrients would be tied up in dead matter and no new life could be produced. Most ecosystems are highly complex and consist of extremely large number of individuals uh, of a wide varieties of species. In the species-rich tropical ecosystem, such as in our country, only a few species are very common, while most species have relatively few individuals. Some species of plants and animals are extremely rare and may occur only at a few locations. These are said to be endemic to these areas. When human activities alter the balance in these ecosystems, the perturbation leads to the disappearance of these uncommon species. When this happens to an endemic species that is not widely distributed, it becomes extinct for all time. Energy flow in ecosystem. Every ecosystem has several interrelated mechanisms that affect human life. These are the water cycle, the carbon cycle, the oxygen cycle, the nitrogen cycle, and the energy cycle. While every ecosystem is controlled by these cycles, in each ecosystem, its abiotic and biotic features are distinct from each other. All the functions of the ecosystem are in some way related to the growth and regeneration of its plants and animal species. These linked processes can be depicted as a various cycles. These processes depend on the energy from sunlight. During photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is taken up by the plant and oxygen is released. Animals depend on this oxygen for their respiration. The water cycle depends on the rainfall, which is necessary for plants and animals to live. The energy cycle recycles nutrients in the soil on which plant life grows. Our own lives are closely linked to the proper functioning of these cycles of life. If human activities go on altering them, humanity cannot survive on our earth. The water cycle. When it rains, The water runs along the ground and flows into the rivers or fall directly into the sea. A part of rainwater that falls on the land percolates into the ground. This is stored underground throughout the rest of year. Water is drawn up from the ground by plants along with the nutrients from the soil. The water is transpired from the leaves as water vapors and return to the atmosphere. As it is lighter than air, water vapor rises from and forms clouds. Wind blows the cloud for long distance, and when the cloud rise higher, the vapor condenses and changes into droplets, which fall on the land as rain. Though this is an end, sorry, though this is an endless cycle on which life depends, man's activities are making drastic changes in the atmosphere through pollution, which is altering rainfall patterns. This is leading to prolonged drought periods extending over years in countries such as Africa, while causing floods in countries such as the US. El Nino storm due to these effects have devastated many places in last few years. The carbon cycle. The carbon which occurs in organic compound is included in both the abiotic and biotic parts of ecosystem. Carbon is a building block of both plants and animal tissues. In the atmosphere, carbon occurs as carbon dioxide. In the presence of sunlight, plants take up carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through their leaves. The plant combines carbon dioxide with water, which is absorbed by their roots from the soil. In the presence of sunlight, they are able to form carbohydrates that contain carbon. This process is known as photosynthesis. Plants use their complex mechanisms for their growth and development. In this process, plants release oxygen into the atmosphere, on which animal depends for respiration. Plants therefore help in regulating and monitoring the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the Earth's atmosphere. All of mankind thus depends on the oxygen generated through this cycle. It is also it also keeps the carbon dioxide at acceptable levels. Herbivorous animals feed on plant material which is used by them for energy and for their growth. Both plant and animal release carbon dioxide during respiration. They also return fixed carbon to soil in the waste they excrete. When plants and animals die, they return to their carbon to the soil. This process is called complete carbon cycle. The oxygen cycle. Oxygen is taken up by plants and animals from the air during respiration. The plants return oxygen to the atmosphere during, during photosynthesis. This links the oxygen cycle to carbon cycle. Deforestation is likely to gradually reduce the oxygen level in our atmosphere. Thus, plants' life plays an important role in our lives, which we frequently do not appreciate. This is an important reason to participate in afforestation program. The nitrogen cycle. Carnivore animals feed on herbivore animals that live on plants. When animals defecate, this waste material is broken down by the worm and insect, mostly beetles and ants. These these small soil animals break the waste material into smaller bits, of which microscopic bacteria and fungi can act. This material is thus broken down further into nutrients that plant can absorb and use for their growth. Thus, nutrients are recycled back from animals to plants. Similarly, bodies of dead animals are also broken down into nutrients that are used by plants for their growth. Thus, the nitrogen cycle on which is dependent is completed. Nitrogen fixing bacteria or fungi in soil gives this important element to plant, which absorb it as nitrate. The nitrates are a part of plant metabolism, which helps in forming new plant protein. This is used by animals that feed on plants. The nitrogen is then transferred to carnivorous animals when they feed on the herbivores. Thus, our own lives are closely interlinked to soil animals, fungi, and even bacteria in the soil. When we think of food webs, we usually think of large mammals and other large forms of life. But we need to understand that it, it is the unseen small animals, plants, and microscopic forms of life that are of great value for the functioning of ecosystem. The energy cycle. The energy cycle is based on the flow of energy through the ecosystem. Energy from sunlight is converted by plants themselves into growing new plant material, which include leaves, flowers, fruit, branches, trunk, and root of plant. Okay. Since plants can grow by converting the sun's energy directly into their tissues, they are known as producers in the ecosystem. The plants which used by herbivore animals as food, which gives them energy, a large part of this energy is used up for day-to-day functions of these animals, such as breathing, digesting food, supporting growth of tissues, maintaining blood flow and body temperature. Energy is also used for activities such as looking for food, finding shelter, breeding, and bringing up young ones. The carnivore, and in turn, depend on herbivorous animals on which they feed. Thus, the different plant and animal species are linked to one another through food chains. Each food chain has three or four links. However, as each plant and animal can be linked to several other plants and animals through many different linkages, these interlinked food chains can be depicted as complex food web. This is thus called web of life that shows that there are thousands of interrelationships in nature. The energy in the ecosystem can be depicted in the form of food pyramid or energy pyramid. The food pyramid has a large base of plant called producers. The pyramid has a narrow middle section that depicts the number of biomass of herbivorous animals, which are called first order consumers. The apex depicts small biomass carnivore animals called second order consumers. Man is one of the animals at the apex of the pyramid. Thus, to support mankind, there must be a large base of herbivorous animals and an even greater quantity of plant material. When plant and animal dies, this material is returned to the soil after being broken down into simpler substances by decomposers such as insects, worms, bacteria, and fungi, so that plants can absorb nutrients through their roots. Animals excrete waste products after digesting food, which goes back into the soil. This links the energy cycle to the nitrogen cycle. Okay, guys, that's it for today. In the next class, we'll be studying about the ecological successions, um, the food chain, food webs, and the ecological pyramids in detail.